All right, everyone. I told you that I was going to do a review on the LR Baggs AEG-1. It's been out for about a year. Um, I got this from our local guitar shop, Hearts Music, here in the Grand Junction area, Grand Junction, Colorado. They were generous enough to loan it to me during our network council, and I played it during that time. And I'm going to give you my thoughts and also feedback from our sound tech. Um, Initially, my thoughts on this when I first plugged it in, and I'm doing in-ears, so when I heard it in that environment, it sounded unlike any other plugged-in acoustic guitar that I had ever played. It sounded amazing. And I wanted to crank the microphone knob, this guy right here, I wanted to crank it all the way up. I didn't even want to use the onboard pickups that this thing has. And we'll get to talk about that here in a moment. But it sounded so much like I was playing in front of a really quality microphone with a good size guitar. You can see that this thing's pretty thin. And you can go out there online and find plenty of other reviews that give like the inside details of what's going on inside. I'm just telling you what I heard. It sounded like a very deep, full body acoustic dreadnought guitar that I was playing. And I wanted to crank it all the way to that side. This is kind of, that's what it sounds like, not plugged in. It's got a thin tone to it. I don't know if that's coming across necessarily on this recording, but it sounds like a thin body acoustic guitar. It's meant to be played plugged in. This thing really shines once it's plugged in. Now, the feedback from our sound tech. He is not a volunteer. He's a professional sound tech. He went to a Full Sail down in Florida. He knows what he's doing. He's mixed for, lots of bands, Newsboys back in the day, and other, bands that were touring around. So he knows what he's doing. He could not get the mix set where he liked it with a full band, with me turning the acoustic mic all the way up, wanting that microphone sound. He couldn't get it to sit in the mix properly. It kept on wanting to dominate the sound, so it was a little bit overpowering. I'm hoping that maybe as we both get used to the sound, that we'll be able to blend the mic back in. But what we actually ended up doing after the first night is I turned the mic all the way off, and I turned it onto the pickup. Now you might think, well, that's stupid. Why would you get this kind of guitar just to use the pickup? Well, the pickup system in it is unlike other acoustic guitars. It actually has a split system. It's got a pickup that's just focused on the bottom three strings, your lower end strings, and a pickup that's focused on the higher end strings. What that does is it really balances out the sound. Sometimes you'll get a pickup system on an acoustic guitar that when you're playing it, it sounds either good in the higher register or sounds good in the lower register, but when you try to have both of them playing together, it just doesn't really sound good. Even with the pickups fully on this one, this is the best acoustic plugged-in guitar that I've ever played. It's an amazing, amazing sound. It didn't take that long to really blend in and get things going. The nice thing is, I played, 3 services with a full band, and then I did one service which was solo acoustic. It was for a memorial service that we did. And in that one, all I had was just kind of a fundamental pad playing in the background. In that one, I dialed up the microphone. I got it back to about 3/4, and it blended in, and it gave it that really deep, full acoustic sound that you're going to want to hear. My thought on this is trust your sound tech. Don't trust your own ears. With my ears, I was really wanting to hear the microphone. I wanted to dial it all the way in to the microphone because I was hearing that just awesome tone in my ears, but I wasn't really hearing it in the context of the rest of the band. Because, like usual, you're going to have your own instrument turned up a little bit. You'll have your own voice turned up a little bit over the rest of the team just so you can get yourself dialed in. And so I was really focusing in on my tone and my voice. So I'm sure that was overriding what the total mix really needed. So trust your sound engineer when they tell you to bring the microphone back if you're going to buy this guitar and use it. And also, I would say the smaller the team, the more you can probably dial that microphone back in. Say you only have bass, drums, and acoustic. Well, you can probably cover a lot more range with your guitar by dialing that microphone back in, and it's just going to add to the overall sound. As far as convenience goes, very, very well-designed guitar. It's got an automatic feedback buster in it, and if you're in a really loud environment, I don't know if anybody uses wedges still, but if you use wedges and you're getting feedback, they actually offer a kind of a rubber seal that fills in the sound there, the acoustic sound. The microphone port, or the 9-volt port is right down here, and you just click this guy here to pop it open, and it comes right out. There's also an adjustment down inside here that allows you to adjust the microphone closer or further away from the bridge here, because the pickups are here, and then the microphone is also right down here, picking up the resonance of the top. The one thing that I kind of wished this had on board is I wished that it had right here just a little tuner, onboard tuner that you could turn on, since everything else is very electric and very convenience oriented. I do wish it had an onboard tuner. It doesn't, so you're going to have to grab yourself your headstock tuner and do it that way. Or if you're plugged into pedals, it's no big deal. You probably have like a polytune that's just there on the ground that you can use as a stomp box and then go through to the direct box. But for my application, we're all wireless here, so I have to use a headstock tuner. Speaking of which, on my older acoustic, on my personal one, I used the headstock tuner, and it left me enough room for my capo. Now on this, you're gonna see that there's really not a ton of room for both of those. So unfortunately, you're going to have to, if you store your capo up on your headstock like I do, you're gonna have to tune and then put the tuner away, and then for service, just keep your capo on your headstock like that, which is really no big deal, especially right now. This thing stays very good in tune. I don't have any issues with it staying in tune. It has great intonation. I will say that when I purchased it, the strings that were on it, I didn't like them. I play elixirs. I prefer just a little bit of coating that gives it a little bit more of a slick feel. I also prefer lighter gauge strings. I play 10s on my electric and on my acoustic. So I swapped them out for 10s. I didn't know what that was going to do for the intonation and also just the fretting to see if it was kind of high off, the strings were high off the fretboard or not. But actually the action improved on the neck once I put 10s on here. I think they probably had 12s on here, I'm going to assume. I don't think they were 13s. I don't think it was that thick. But I'm going to assume they had 12s, and I felt like that was just put a little too much tension on the neck. right out of the box, and the action was definitely higher. But now that I have the 10s on here, I think it's perfect. There's no buzzing anywhere up and down the fret, and it's great right out of the box. This one is the finish that's kind of right in the middle. They have a sunburst, they have a natural finish, and this is the one that's in the middle. Now, online, the pictures I saw of this finish looked a little darker in the online pictures, but the when I got it here, it's just a little lighter looking. The natural finish is going to be looking more like this. This look is going to be all the way around if you want the natural finish. But I like just a little bit of a darker look for the front. I give this, especially for the price, it's right about $1,500. And on Sweetwater, I think there's some used ones that are closer to the $1,000 range right now. I'm not sure why they're not popular. I don't know why this didn't become a thing. I think people are still kind of sticking to the Martins and such. But as far as for me, I am a believer in the LR Baggs AEG-1. And I give it my stamp of approval. Let's see, rating out of 5. I guess you can never give a perfect 5 stars. Maybe it'd be perfect if it had onboard tuning for me. But as it stands right now, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. It really offers everything that I want in an acoustic guitar for a Sunday morning. So there you go. Full endorsement for the AEG-1 for all you worship players out there. If you've played this, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think of this guitar. And yeah, get out there and play for the Lord.